Well, hello there, Alta Sierra Bruins, 8th graders, and future Bears. This is Mr. Lake talking, and I'm a teacher out here at Buchanan High School, and I can't wait to see some of you next year, and I hope some of you will become part of our Energy Academy. That's kind of one of the things I help work on here. What I've got for you today is a really cool project. You're going to be building solar car kits using gears. And this year, we're sponsored by the Kings River Conservation District. They help buy all this equipment for us, but we are going to be using some recycled equipment for this particular kit. So let me show you what's in the kit, and then I'll show you how to build a solar power car, a very simple one. Now what I'm going to show you here is just the very basics. You can build a fancier, better car than what I'm going to build if you just use your own imagination and hard work and work together as a team. So, but anyway, this one will work. And so let's take a look at all the stuff. Here I've got this plastic bag. I'm sure you've got this this plastic bag, and it came with all this equipment. Let me show you the equipment. You should have a solar panel, okay, with some wires on it. Okay, so here's our solar panel. Okay, and then you should have a motor like this, and the motor's got a little gear attached to it like there. And then we've got a motor holder, okay, and that's what you're going to hold. You're going to snap the motor in there, and it's going to help hold it on your solar car. Then we've got front wheels. Here's your front wheels, or it could be your back wheels. And they've got these steel axles right here. And they do, you pull on them, they pop off, and you can put them back on. They hold pretty nicely. Okay, and then we've got the back wheels, or the powered wheels, and they're bigger. And notice that right here, there's a gear that's attached. So this is what's going to drive your car. Okay, so, and then we have a straw. I included a straw in there, and the straw you can use as an axle. Now, or to slip the axle through, and it lets the axle rotate. So here's some other stuff you're going to need. I've got some cardboard here. So here's a sheet of cardboard. Now I'm going to make my my chassis for my car, the body of the car, out of cardboard. You don't have to use cardboard. If you've got a better idea, you can certainly use it. Use whatever materials you want, but cardboard's nice and cheap, and it does work. And then you'll need some scissors, okay. And for the car I'm going to build, all you need is masking tape. So, but if you want to use glue or whatnot, you can do that. All right. So the first thing I need to do is, I need to design a car that will make this thing rotate. Now, the way it works is that, see this motor right here? It has to mesh in with this gear, and then when the when the solar power forces this gear to turn, it'll force the wheel to turn. So you have to, and that's what's going to power your solar powered car. Okay, and so actually the way it works is the energy from the sun, travels the 93 million miles to get to Earth, and some of it is going to land, a very tiny little bit of it's going to land on this solar power. Now our solar panel. Now this solar panel turns the energy from the sun into electrical energy, creates a voltage and a current, and then you just hook these up to the leads like this. And if you were to take this out into the sun just like this, this motor would spin really fast. And so that's what we're going to do. Now, we need first thing we need to do is we need these to be able to rotate freely when we tape it to the cardboard. So take the wheel off, and then what I do is I just take a straw like this, okay, and you place the straw in like this, and then you have to leave enough room for the wheel to fit over the axle. So I can kind of see where the end of that is. So I pull that off of there, and I take my scissors and I trim it off like that. Now I slide that back in there, put the other back wheel on, and now it'll fit on there. And see, this thing can slide on that straw now. And now I can, and it also will keep the wheel from running into the body. Okay, so we need to do the same thing for the front wheel. So I just take one of the wheels off, slide the straw over it. Okay, leave a little space because we need a little room for the wheel to slide back on, the other wheel. And trim this like that. Slip this over and put the wheel on. And so there's our front wheel. And the straws will, you know, look at how nicely that turns. Okay. Okay, so now what I need is a body to put this on. Now the body needs to make room for the, it's called the chassis. And I need to have room for the wheels to turn, and I'm going to need room to put the solar panel on. And so here's my back wheel. Now how long you make it, it's up to you. I'm just going to let you do whatever you want. But what I'm going to do now is I take a pen and I kind of trace this. I want it to be kind of skinny in the front. Okay, and I want to cut this out. See, I want to cut this corner out so that front wheel can spin. Now let's hold that like this. And then the nice thing about cardboard is that, you know, it's really easy to cut and, you know, make different shapes, whatever shape you want. So I'm going to cut those away and take my pair of scissors. Okay. And cut that out. Now if you're using scissors, okay, careful, and, you know, don't run with them. Don't run with scissors, you guys. We don't allow that at the high school. Okay, you can get a referral running with scissors here. I've written them. Okay, clip the corners off. Why? Because it looks cool. All right, and then, and so now I've got the kind of the front of my car, and what I can do now is I can tape. I'll eventually tape this down. So that's for the front wheels. Now I need to do the same thing for the back wheels. Now, how far back do you want to make how long do you want to make this? Make enough room, okay, so that there's room for your motor and the solar panel to go on there. So, you know, don't make it too short or you're going to have to redo it. I learned that the hard way. Okay, so there's the back wheel, and you kind of eyeball it, make sure it's symmetric with the front wheels. Although it's pretty forgiving, so let's move back a little bit. So there's that. So there's the back there. I want to cut this out. See, I'm just kind of eyeballing it. Now, if you can do a better job than me, go for it, okay? Because I'm kind of lame at this stuff. I'm real good at theory, though. If you need an equation, I'm your guy. But if you need something made, you know, well, there's people that can do a better job than me. Hopefully that's you. Okay, so there we go. So now I'm going to cut that out, and so my car is going to be pretty plain, but it'll work. I know, I built one already. Okay, start from over here. Yeah, you guys are going to have fun in high school. I enjoyed high school a lot. I had a hard time in junior high, but I have to admit, I really had a good time in high school. And a lot of cool people over here. A lot of great stuff to get involved in. So take advantage of it. When you get to high school, don't just screw around, you know. Get involved, do something. Oh, that's not all that symmetric. Oh well. That's all right. So there's my body. It looks like a Chevy symbol, huh? Okay, so now what I'm going to do for my car is I'm going to tape the wheels on. And this can be kind of a challenging part because you want to tape them on, and so I got this masking tape. Now if you tape them and you get them the way you want, maybe you'll want to glue it or whatever. You know, that's up to you and your science teacher there. But I do know this will work. But tape does loosen up over time, so you have to be careful with it. So now let me put this on. Now you want your wheels to be as straight as possible. Whoops. Okay. So you kind of have to roll it back a little bit. And you want to see how that straw is hanging out a little bit over there. That'll keep the wheel from running into the body. Because if the wheel, when it's spinning, if it runs into the body of your car, it'll add a lot of friction, and your solar car won't go very fast. Okay, so I'm just going to put a piece of tape on the other side. And again, if you want to use, if you have time or whatever, you might be able to use better tape, or maybe duct tape would work better. I don't know, duct tape. Duct tape's pretty sticky stuff, though. You better be careful with it. Okay. And there we go. Sorry this is taking so long. But all right, so there's my front wheel. Do the same thing for the back wheels. Okay. And one thing you 8th grade teachers can do if you want, if this is kind of boring watching and your kids are getting all squirrely, just fast forward through the video. Well, I guess you can't do that on YouTube, can you? Oh, look at that, I screwed up. That's all right. And now I got to make sure there's room. I'm just going to put that one piece of tape on there, because see now, okay, there's the see, it'll roll. I put another piece of tape there eventually, but right now I turn it over, and let's put the now see here's the way it's got to work. The motor has to fit and mesh with that gear right there. Now here's the tricky part, is keeping the gear, the two gears meshed. So you really have to be careful that these are very secure. And I did have trouble with my coming apart. Also, you have to be careful. See how the leads, the wires that will come in here can sometimes interfere with that back wheel. So that is a problem. Here's your motor mount. You just snap it in like that. Just kind of push it in. And now it's ready to go in your car. And then I'll put this right here. Okay. And then now some of them have sticky stuff on the back. I mean on the bottom there, so they'll stick naturally. If yours is run out of sticky stuff, you might want to use some glue or some double-sided tape if you have any. Or what I'm going to do to hold it in place, and really what you want to do is this has to be held down. So you take some masking tape, take a good long strip of it, and you put it over your motor, and you kind of add some tension to it, and that's going to hold your motor to the body of the car. And then when I turn this over, you see it's holding that. It's a little tricky, but if I can do this by myself. Now see how that motor, when I roll this back and forth, let me zoom in so you can see it better. Okay, I'll go really slow because this camera doesn't really pick it up. When you roll it back and forth, these two gears should mesh. So, and it should be a nice tight mesh. That's actually pretty good. Now, the more you use your car, the more the mesh can come, can come undone. So you got to be careful with it. Now, so let me take another piece of tape. Tape this down like that. And that should hold very nicely. There we go. Now we need to put the solar panels on. Now, there's different ways of doing it. Notice that I've left enough room to fit the panels kind of like that. Now the problem are these wires. And these wires can interfere with this wheel. So you're going to have to think of a way where the wires, they're called leads, aren't going to interfere with it. So anyway, put this one right here. So I kind of put it sideways. I'm trying to put it, oh, I'm sorry, I'm off camera. Let me zoom out again. Like that. And now we need to find a way of putting this solar panel on a car like this. Now what I'm going to do is get a piece of Scotch tape, and I'm going to use Scotch tape because it's clear and I won't lose much solar energy this way. But if you think of a better way to do this, you go for it. And put the Scotch tape on like that. Actually, let me put a little farther over. Put this down like that onto the motor. See how that flops up like that? That's going to be kind of difficult. So I'm going to get another piece of tape, and I'm going to put this down like this. Now I'm kind of lame. Okay, you can ask Mr. Marquez. He knows. He was my student a long time ago. Now believe it or not, this will work. You put this in the sun and this car will work, and it will go pretty fast if it's angled right. Now what are some things you could do if you have time? Well, you could build a fancier car using more cardboard, something that will hold the solar panel up above the car. Get a piece of cardboard and build a little bridge in there. And by the way, if you know which direction your car is going relative to the sun, you can build something that will tilt your solar panel to match the sun. And because the more direct the sunlight is on your solar panel, the more sunlight energy will get turned into electrical energy, and the faster your car will go. And then you can, build stuff around it and make it fancy and decorate it and stuff like that. But it does have to work, so make sure your car, don't make it so fancy that it won't even run. Okay? And that is your solar-powered car using gears. Good luck, and we'll see you at the races.